you guys need to also understand that there's just about enough Grammys to go around, and you have to pull it. You might never get it. It is not a Nigerian award. Yeah, it's so spoken.
All right, let's jump right into the topic. It's the industry's biggest night.
Yes, sir.
It's the Grammys, and we are doing predictions and expectations. So, firstly, what do we think the possibility of Tems winning Best R&B Song category? What do we feel about that?
It's going to be a tough one, to be honest. First of all, I think she won by getting nominated. I mean, let's face it, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. A Nigerian female artist. Super talented. She's done wonderfully well in the last 3 years. She's been one of the protagonists of the Nigerian Afrobeats to the world movement. One of the biggest Nigerian stars globally. One of the biggest African stars globally, especially in the US, where she's carved a niche for herself, and she has a massive fan base there. So I think she getting the nomination for Best R&B Song is a nod to her artistry, a nod to her effort, and to be honest, I think she won already. Like just being able to break barriers and being the first Nigerian female artist to be nominated outside of the global categories. I think she won. I think she won. So now she actually winning, I think is going to be tough. I think she could win, but I think the odds might be low considering those she speared against. The Caesar had dropped a very great album. The album did very well and had a great song. Saturn is nominated. There's Mooney Long, who is like the R&B sweetheart now, and who is kind of like poised to do a clean sweep of the R&B category. Best R&B performance, best R&B album, best R&B song. And there's also Coco Jones, who is the next big thing in that space. So it's not going to be easy. I think the song is great. I think Bonnie can hold its own against the other nominees. But again, these are first rodeo, these are first nomination show, so it's not always easy to pick it at your first try. So people have done it, but it's not always easy. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy one. So fingers crossed. I hope she wins it, but it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah,
so basically, no.
I would just say no because we cannot say categorically say yes or no, but I think it's going to be difficult. I think it's going to be. I'll give her a 25% chance.
Those are good odds, if you ask me. All right, so let's move on. Do you think Tems or Rema can win Best Global Music Album?
It's kind of like a recurring story for the Nigerian music industry when it comes to the Best Global Album category. Only one person has been able to win so far. We've had a couple of nominations. Femi Kuti has been nominated, I think, 3 times in that category. Burna Boy has been nominated, I think 4 times in that category. African Giants, Love Damini, Twice as Tall, and I told them, 4 times that category. He's won it once. Wizkid has been nominated. Davido has also been nominated, and now we have Tems and Rema. So only one person has won it, and I think Femi Kuti could have won it. Maybe should have won it.
Yes,
but because he was not until Burna Boy, he was our. The Kuti family essentially where I think Seun Kuti has also been nominated. So they were like the Nigeria's best shot at the Grammys, right? Until Burna Boy, of course. So Burna Boy won it with Twice as Tall. I think that's his best album as far as I'm concerned. And the album was not very commercial. Successful, but not very commercial. You understand? Not a pop album the way you ordinarily make a pop album filled with chart toppers and album you want to just make sure that you just categorically want to get like sales records from. He made a critically acclaimed album, like a really, really good album that balanced different sounds and it embraced African element at a significant level. Songs like Wonderful, songs like Time Flies Without You, So Bebo, Onyeka, he had that African element in terms of the instrumentation and also language. And I think that's why it was able to win it. Now, look at the rest that's been nominated, bar Femi Kuti's Afrobeat, which I think is remarkable. Wizkid with Made in Lagos, R&B, a pop album with significant R&B and Afrobeat fusion. Davido's timeless pop album, Afrobeat album, like 2 of them, hip hop exploration. So it's still there. When you look at Rema's Ease, which is an Afrobeat album, even though he categorically explored the part of Afrobeat that he chose to do, the rave, the up-tempo, that street element, that's quintessentially Afrobeat. When you listen to it, okay, this is Afrobeat. He did it, he stayed clear of the international influences, the R&B influences, Western the grime, the drill, the swing, stuff like that. He stayed clear of that. He just went core Afrobeat and a fusion of log drums here and there. So you know, okay, this is core Afrobeat. This is very Nigerian, quintessentially Nigerian. Yeah, so there's that part, but at the same time, it just doesn't carry that traditional element the Grammys have come to favor. So when you juxtapose it with other nominations, the if you look at the people that were also nominated, Al Kebulan by Mad P and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, that album carried significant like Southern African elements in it, in terms of the language, in terms of the instrumentation, and it featured an orchestra. Like a Philharmonic Orchestra, that like a choir of like over 80 people. You know, so that's why it's very musical, and there were interludes where they were speaking Swahili, I think, and there was like core African like elements to it. You know, so it just carries that global sound. I think the Grammy looks out for. There's also Ciro Hurtado. Now I listened to this Ciro Hurtado album. I can pronounce it very well because I think it's Spanish, but Paiseis or something like the Paiseis. It's really good. It's really good. It's carries a lot of folk element in terms of the guitar, like a bit of flamenco guitar, the drums and everything like that. The language, so it's really good. I quite enjoyed it. And he's been nominated for the Latin Grammy. He's worked with someone who's won the global category before. He's worked with someone who's won the Grammy for best children album. So he has pedigree. Yes, pedigree. And also there's Antonio Rio. He had a flamenco album, which is just the guitar, a lot of instrumentation with just minor vocals on it. Bro, you need to listen to that album. It's good. You might not enjoy it because I think you would enjoy it. You would enjoy it because you listen to a lot of international stuff.
Yes,
so
I do.
maybe the average Nigerian consumer might not enjoy it, but I think you would like it. There are like 4 tracks on the album that I really love. Like when you listen to the album, it reminds you of when you watch Telemundo. Gardner's Daughter, Sebastian, and I forgot him.
Those ones.
Second Chance. Or when you go to one of these Southern Americans restaurants on the island, like say La Taverna, for example, that's kind of music you probably heard there. So, and he also has Grammy pedigree. He's won the Latin Grammy for best flamenco album. So this
he already has a Grammy itself.
Although Latin Grammy but I mean still pedigree. So now, like if you look at Tems, which I think she's nominated because she is Tems, and she's one of the leading progenitors, like the protagonist of Nigerian, protagonist of Nigerian music globally, right? And I think that's why she's nominated. The album kind of did well too internationally. So she went on tour, had a successful tour. But in terms of the elements that when you compare to the rest of the nomination, it sticks out because it's a significantly R&B album. It should possibly be in the R&B category. And I think sooner or later, she'll get there. If she continue at this pace, she's going to get there. I mean, she's already there in terms of getting the nomination for R&B song. And you know, it's just a matter of time before she does get into the R&B category, in the full crossover. So I think she's been nominated because they want to give her some sort of recognition. And they can possibly not fit her into the R&B album. Now, they had Chris Brown, Caesar, Money Long, and co. So this again, let's put her in the global category. I mean, after all, she's Nigerian as well. She's a global star. So, but the music sticks out. She was doing predominantly R&B with just little, you know, she just like leaned into Afrobeats, like just minor Love Me JJ and the song that Shake, but predominantly it's R&B. So
I agree.
Rema is predominantly Afrobeats, like African element. It's just not traditional enough, I think. Like in terms, because Grammy have come to favor traditional element, and Rema's Afrobeat is African pop, right? So lacks traditional element. Same thing with Tems. So I feel that makes it difficult for them to win it. To be honest, I think Antonio Rio might win it. I think he has in terms of now talking about what the global sound that the Grammys have come to favor. I think he has that sound more than like between him and Ciro Hurtado. I think it might be between two of them. Yeah, I think they might win it. So yeah, this is going to be a difficult one for us. I think our chances are quite slim here.
So we're going 0-2.
Yeah. You know, again, I can say for sure, but yeah, I don't see Tems for Rema winning the global album category. It's just going to be difficult. If they do win, it's going to be an upset.
For the other ones,
no, like for the global.
Yeah.
For the global categories, I think it's going to be an upset. If Rema or Tems win this category, I think it's going to be an upset.
So if it was a toss-up between Rema or Tems,
who do I think is going to win?
Ignore the other nominees, just both of them. Who would you think would take?
I think it's going to be Rema because again, Tems. I think Grammy favors that originality in terms of African sound.
Yes,
And
I
I think Rema's album is more African than Tems' album. It's closer to home than Tems' album. It's
agree.
like in terms of even if although language service it's closer to home. It's a lot of pidgin in
Pidgin,
it.
yes.
A lot of pidgin in it, a lot of African production in it, like the drums, Afrobeat production in it. While it's not very traditional in terms of there's no folk element, it's African in its sonics, the language, the Afrobeat production. While Tems is very more global, more international in R&B, very R&B lean. So I going by that, which I think it's kind of like it's a deciding factor for the voters. I don't know, but going by precedent, I think it plays a significant role. So I would say between both of them, I think Rema has a better chance
of winning. All right. So now I feel to most Nigerians, this is the most important category, the best
we kept it last.
African music performance. A lot of Nigerians are nominated here, or Africans as well. So who do we?
Nigerians.
Yeah, Nigerians. Yeah. Well. Who do we think is coming home with the Grammy?
Yeah, I think it's positive. It's a good one that irrespective of who wins, a Nigerian is winning. The Nigeria is going to win like there's no way Nigeria is not winning a Grammy, which I think is good for the ecosystem. Considering the outbreak of last year where they lost
crazy.
The only non-Nigerian in the category, deservedly so. Tyler's Water, I mean, most popular song in the US that year. So this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. But now I'm going to say going by Grammys in terms of them, because we only have one category, like one year to go by, which was last year, because there was this category was introduced last year, right? So Tyler won it, Water, and now it's because it's not the most African song in terms of its sonics, but it's the most commercial song by African in the US. I think it's the biggest. I think that was a deciding factor, right? And if we're going to go by that metric, I think it's going to be Sensational by Chris Brown featuring Davido and Luchi, because it's the best performing song, Afrobeat song in the US in the game review. It even got R&B nominations in iHeartRadio Award, I think BET. So it did very well. So I think that might decide it, right? But again, Chris Brown, who is the face of the song, is not African.
That's where I'm going to.
And I think that might play in the minds of the voters to feel like, are we now going to vote for? I mean, Chris Brown is an honorary Nigerian as far as I'm concerned. Point. I think we gave him a Nigerian name. I'm not sure I can remember. So he's an honorary Nigerian. He's won the Eddies. He's very close to home. He's collaborated with a lot of Afrobeat artists. He's pitching his music, and he's always making he drops an album and you get 2 Afrobeat records on that album. So he loves Afrobeat, right? So I think while I would be very okay with him winning it, because it's not quote unquote a culture vulture like that people might want to play. Like some people might be tempted to paint it like a white guy making Afrobeat. It's not that guy. He collaborated with Afrobeat stars before all this. Before Afrobeat became so big that we had a category, he was there. So I'll be very comfortable with him winning it. But I think at the same time, I feel like it might play on the minds of listeners that
he's an American guy.
Are we going to vote for an American guy for an African music performance category? It's just maybe it's not a good look. This and that. So that might play, and that might come into play. And if that comes into play, and I feel it's going to be between Burna Boy's Aya and Tems' Love Me Jeje. Here's why. I feel Burna Boy has the pedigree. Burna Boy has 10 Grammy nominations.
He's a Grammy darling at
10. 10. Like the man is phenomenal. Now, Aya, I don't think it's his best record. I don't think it's his best record. He's dropped better records. But yeah, it's Burna Boy. There's not going to be a Grammy party without him. So that pedigree might come into play. Other is Tems. Now, Tems had a good year. Love Me Jeje is one of the biggest crossover songs of last year, right? And the fact that when we put the year she's at in context, that might get her over the line. Given the fact that she might not win the global album category, she might also not win the R&B song category. So this might just be the consolation for her. Okay, she's not going to go
Thanks for coming.
She should win. And I think Love Me Jeje also, kind of like leans a bit towards African music performance in terms of she samples an African classic, by Shey Shodimu and Shafi Bello. So I think, and given the context of the year she's at, she had a successful tour where she sold out like sold out all her dates and everything, and she's had a wonderful year in the US as well, and she's getting more popular there. So this might come into play and get over the line. And now that leaves us with MMS, Ashake, and Wizkid, which I think kind of like it has a bit of the African sonics in terms of the language. Wizkid is also has pedigree. This is Ashake's second nomination, so he's building pedigree as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this song is his strongest contender to win. I think last year he had a good shot at my piano,
yeah.
because he had the most significant African element to have won it last year. But this year it's just kind of a bit tricky. If he wins it, I'll be surprised. I don't think he's going to win it. I think I'm going to be surprised if he wins it, because the music is not the most commercial of all of them. The artists with bigger profile there in terms of Tems and Burna Boy, at least when it comes to the Grammys and the US, right?
Yes.
But there's a Wizkid factor as well. But I mean, in the year in review, Wizkid didn't have like a great year in the US anyway. I mean, the album came after the song and everything. Yeah. So, but it's still Wizkid. It's still Wizkid that can come into play. But so I'm not sure. But then there's Tomorrow by Yemi Alade as well, which when it comes to the Sonics, should win it. When it comes to African music performance, in terms of a song that puts African music on, like spotlights the elements in African music, I think Tomorrow is the one that carries most significant African element. But these are first nominations, so Tyler won it with her first nomination, but I mean Tyler had Water, so there's that.
What's on Tomorrow?
So, I think when it comes to the music alone, like based off the music alone, I think Yemi Alade should win it. I think she's also deserving of it. I mean, big congratulations to her. She's been there for over 10 years, doing these. And she's been a prominent voice in the exploitation of Afrobeat. Actually, that even the fact that she might not be like one of the faces of the Afrobeat, the world movement in terms of the commercialization, but she's always here exporting African music. She's an African global star, alongside people like Flavor, who are always taking the core African sound to the West. And she's performing in France today. She's performing across Europe. She's always collaborating with the Frankophone market, which she really, really loves servicing. So I think when it comes to the music alone, I think she should win it. But it's also going to be difficult. So this one is difficult to call, but I'm going to say based off the precedence of Tyler, Sensational by Chris Brown. But if they don't want to vote for an American artist and that comes into play, I think it's going to be between Love Me JJ and Burna Boy. And in the context of Burna Boy, and in the context of the year Tems has had with the album Born in the Wild, I think she's going to win it.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so let's move on. So let's talk about it in totality. Do you think the nominations are like a reflection on the African music scene?
It's not, and it's not going to be. I don't think it will ever be. It's with the 54 countries now, 54 countries with unique sounds. Even on our pops, even in as far as African pop music is concerned, there's a lot of various sounds. There's Afrobeats, Afropop, the Amapiano sound. There's the Northern American pop music, there's Busophone, there's the Lusophone pop music, there's Sukus, there's the Makossa, there's different sounds from different parts of the continent, there's a bongo flavor. So it cannot be reflective. It's never going to be reflective because there's a lot of sound to consider, and there's just only one category. And now I think this category will always be dominated by those who are most proximate to the creators, like the Academy, which is an American award. It's an American award.
Yes, it is.
And it's those who are most proximate to it, those who are successful in America, those who kind of like even play the role to make this category exist in the first place. And Afrobeat, to a large extent, to a significant extent, played a role to make this category a reality. Through the hard work and the success of Nigerian artists and other African artists as well. So that's why, and Afrobeat stars are quite popular there, so that's why they get to, I feel like maybe there's a priority, and I don't think the Academy they're that keen on making it have an African outlook. And it does have African music performance, just see Afrobeat, they want to name it, to make it spread and just make it have an African outlook. But in terms of nomination, I don't think that comes to mind. I don't think they are particular about nominating sounds from other parts of the continent. And as a Nigerian, I don't know, I feel like it would be better for them to have songs that are reflective of the African continent, but at the same time, I won't be an hypocrite and lie to you that as a Nigerian that I'm not okay with this.
I'm okay with this.
Because I know there's a lot of hard work that goes on in the back end to make this reality. And I feel like the people who fuel it, who put the hard work they deserve to get, the flowers and everything, and this is what is playing out. So I won't be sitting here and be an hypocrite and be like, I know African music is the brilliance in African music is necessarily not being rewarded. That's not to say these songs are not brilliant in themselves, but in terms of the type of music we make, I think if they want to award brilliance in African music, I think songs like Fuji Vibe, Different Pattern, Imina Tandano, I don't know, I keep murdering the song by Kabza and Maforisa, like amazing, Youngstown, amazing song. Even Shwalabam, I think it's kind of popular. I think these songs might get a nod and everything, right? Well, I don't think they're particular about having like a DEI, inclusivity kind of stuff. They're just like, you guys who are the guys popping? Which songs is blowing in the US? Let's get it. Then who are the guys with the pedigree? So they're the people with the resources, the people with links to international labels who can put the strings behind behind the scenes. So there's a lot of hard work that goes at the back end, and the people who are clocking in this hard work, I think they are going to keep determining who gets into this category. So again, to answer the question, in good faith, I cannot say it's reflective of the African music scene. And at the same time, I don't think it will ever be reflective of the African music scene. Yeah.
All right. So a quick question, just off script, right?
Yeah.
The way we have the Latin Grammys, which is a version of the Grammys that's dedicated to Latin music, do you think Afrobeats or African music in general should have the Afro Grammys or something like that? Do you think it's something we should look into?
It could happen, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. We're not that big there. I think that would just like that kind of our own award and African Grammys is just going to be like we getting ahead of ourselves, and we having an overestimated and inflated inflated estimation of our own value. Because we have a couple of artists that have crossed over, and we have been able to leverage a big diasporan community, and also the fact that Afrobeat is now like getting the attention of the world. Global labels, international labels are coming there, funneling money into the industry, so they could market the song, take it globally, get the money back, and everything like that. So I don't think we had that popular yet. We have, like, for example, just look at the money, the Latin music made in the US, not globally, in the US last year. I can't remember the figure, but I think I was reading the report, like the money they made in the first half of last year. My bro, it's remarkable. It's ridiculous. So there's that market, there's a huge market for it. And even in the US alone, there's like the Puerto Rican community.
Yes.
So there's that to consider as well. So yeah, it's not that. It's just not like I feel like the African Grammys is already like the BET, so yeah,
Oh my God.
so we cannot have our own stuff. So what we need to do is just support African awards, scale African awards, because at the end of the day, that's what can reward African excellence. I mean, that's what takes us to our last part of this conversation.
All right. So last but not least, what do you think the lessons should be from this for the Nigerian music ecosystem?
First of all, congratulations, well done, guys. I mean, another year, another Grammy nomination. They keep breaking grounds, pushing the boundaries of Nigerian music. Tems getting an R&B nomination. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years ago, we possibly wouldn't have thought this was possible. Wouldn't have thought that that a Nigerian will get into this category. So congratulations to everybody. It's not the hard work of just one person. It's not the hard work of a generation alone. It's the hard work of generations that have sustained this movement, sustained the industry by their hard work, their talent, and continue to inspire generations before them. Shout out to Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade, shout out to all the female artists that have come before Tems who played the role to inspire her. And she's been inspired, and now she's pushing it to another level, and she's also going to inspire generations that come after her. So congratulations to everybody. So that said, you guys need to also understand that there's just about enough Grammys to go around. If you work hard enough and you had a good year and you had a year better than others, you could get a look in. And now that there's an African music performance category, it could be rotated among a few people. So if you're lucky enough, you could get a look in depending on the context of the year you've had. But you understand that there's a chance you might never get it. Yeah, and you have to be cool with it. You might never get it. It is not a Nigerian award. I feel like it's becoming a thing when Nigerians are a bit obsessive about this. I don't want to use obsessive because it carries a negative denotation, right? But I feel like it's because there's not enough awards to recognize brilliance and excellence in Nigerian music. We have to now go to the Grammys. I mean, look at the rate at which things were nominated, were being submitted for the 67 Grammys. To be honest with you, this is just me, but I was embarrassed. Yeah, I mean, everyone has the right to submit their materials for Grammys, but at some point I feel like it's making a mockery of the whole thing. People are submitting everything. Now, with all due respect, right? I think they have a right to submit their work because they've put in their hard work. They feel it deserves of recognition. But at the same time, it just feels like Nigerians are just going there, just like everyone is just trying to get in. It just became like the only award Nigerians have to look forward to, especially the industry, the artists themselves. A lot of artists submitted for the Grammy last year, knowing that there's a zero chance you get nominated. I was seeing some funny submissions for Record of the Year, Song of the Year. Very, very funny submissions.
I saw too.
Yeah, so and like, what best case, maybe 3 Nigerian artists get into the global categories. Best case, which I think is even going to be difficult. Best case, right? Because it's the whole world. It's an American award. Then the whole world will have to fit into somewhere. Or if you are big enough to cross over to the country, if you are the stars, if you are Adele, if you're Ed Sheeran, even if you're a big UK star, I mean, where's Bad Bunny's Record of the Year nomination? Where's Bad Bunny's Album of the Year nominations? And it's had one of the best-selling albums. You understand that it's just about enough to go around, right? And I feel like we're becoming so attached to it to the point that we've beginning to lose sight that it's not a fucking Nigerian award. It's not. It's an American award that is organized, and the decisions, the nominations are reflective of an American perspective. If you want to have an award that embraces Nigerian context, you have to support awards locally. And that's why I always drop support for Nigerian local awards. There's the Sound City Awards, the Trace TV Awards. I'm always willing, I'm always happy, eager to drop support for them because we need these awards to grow. We need it to be sustained because that's what's going to award brilliance here, and also, build a structure that would reward projects in the future and also document things that we've done now. Things that are like that documents the strides Nigerian artists have recorded now for future generations to be able to refer to. So the lessons is that, well done. You have made impact in the US, in the West, and your impact has gotten to the point that cannot be ignored. Possibly they can expand the categories by 1 or 2, but 1 or 2 categories is not going to reward an entire ecosystem. So get your acts right, come home, let everybody play their role and grow Nigerian award. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way to award Nigerian excellence, or at least excellence in Nigerian music. And that's facts only.